Rent's due. That's right. Rent is due. Your rent's going to be $1,000. You only got about $1,100, and you got some other bills to pay, and it's your birthday weekend. What you going to do? Well, that's what the Seahawks are in, that type of situation. Rent is due, and we about to see if they're going to pay up. We're going to talk about that and what else is going on across the league. Let's get to it.
It's the Reset with G. Scott.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, too. Don't think I didn't forget that. Don't be coming here hanging out, man. Come on now. You know you got to see us and hear us from time to time. All the time, this is what we do. I'm joined here by the whole gang right here. I got Bones, Frank, and Paul. We're all here to talk about what is going on right now. I just set the tone. Rent is due. They are going down to the San Francisco 49ers this week. One of you guys help me. What needs to happen for them to be successful?
Well, you're saying rent's due. I think rent's being raised. You're coming into a game against the 49ers when CMC, Christian McCaffrey, is back. That's one more weapon you got to worry about. That rent price is going up. Has our run defense been improving, G?
I mean, you know, they made a move. They cut a linebacker that started 9 games and they're their leading tackler. So I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna definitely see.
You got that one weapon back right there in CMC, and plus there are other. I forget their other running back's name that was filling in the time. Was it Mason?
Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason. Yeah.
And then Guerrero, Innuendo, whatever that guy is.
Yeah, and they've also both done fairly well for being on that team. But as we all know, the 49ers are just a stacked unit. When they get one guy back, it's like getting your best warrior back, and you got to nick him in the heel if you got to do anything.
Frank, am I delusional? And what I mean by that, am I delusional?
It's a loaded question.
Well, look, a lot of you guys know I'm a homer. You know there's a lot of times I'm the person that's in that relationship that thinks is doing well, knowing that my significant other doesn't get in till 3 o'clock in the morning every morning, but I'm still holding out hope for the love. I'm still holding out hope that they're not cheating on me. Am I delusional right now with this Seahawks team? Because when I look on TV and I see these other teams across the league, I just wonder if the relationship that I have with the Seahawks is like what I'm seeing with these other teams. Am I delusional?
Well, we keep asking and addressing ourselves like, is this a playoff team? And we're coming off the bye. I spent my wonderful Sunday watching the NFL at large, and man, I have a different opinion about this team than I did a couple weeks ago. The playoffs are off for me after what I saw on Sunday from the elite squads, the top half of the league squads, and that's not even a bad thing. We have the youngest coach in the league. We have a rookie offensive coordinator alongside him. I just want to evaluate the rest of the season.
Wait, hold on. Let's stay with that. Playoffs are off the table?
Yeah. I'm done. I'm done with the Seahawks playoff hunt.
Well, hold on. They're not that far out. There's only a separation of a game and a half between all of the teams in the NFC West division.
Hey, man.
And you're out on them already?
So first off, Green Bay Packers right now is the 7th seed in the NFC. They're 6-3. That's the lowest ranked playoff team. So now we have to compete with the division, and that's a division where the Cardinals are 6-4 and have won 4 in a row. That's a division with the San Francisco 49ers, who we haven't proven that we can beat. And I don't really care about the Ayuk injury. That team is loaded on talent across the board because it's not just Juwan Jennings and Debo. It's CMC's back. It's Kittle's back. It's Ricky Pearsall, their first-round receiver, is now catching stride.
Oh, okay.
And then you got the Rams. Like, can we beat the Rams?
You're starting to sound like Mariner fans after the All-Star
No,
break.
but you know
I'm trying to spin it positive in the way of like, I just want to see this team.
We want you. No. We want you to keep it a buck. We want you. We don't want you to lie. I'll say this.
I mean, you remember all those bottom 10 stats I read off last week?
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
There's a ton.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. And oh, by the way, do you guys remember at the beginning of the season that I said that the Arizona Cardinals were a team that nobody's talking about, is a team that is quiet off season outside of Marvin Harrison? And I said it feels like they're building something sneaky down there. I still feel that same way.
You know what's
Arizona.
frustrating about them? It feels like they haven't even scratched the surface of their potential. Feels like Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison still have no connection. Feels like Kyler Murray's very inconsistent game to game. That team has a very tough time playing defense. Mm-hmm. Guess what? In 3 of their last 4 games, this 4-game win streak, they've held opponents 15 points or lower 3 of those times.
Wow. Paul, you're used to watching mediocre teams. Can you tell us what's going on right now? What do you see positive for the Seahawks. Give me something positive.
I think this is a team that hasn't kind of started to have that infighting. One of the things that I think was interesting about San Francisco, and I think one of the things that was interesting from this weekend was that dust up with special teams. And we've heard about the Seahawks having some stuff, but I don't think this is a team that has a lot of big stars that are clashing with that. I think maybe Debo is very frustrated, and that was kind of a frustrating situation for them. But I think this is a team that still believes in it, and this is definitely a team that doesn't think they're out of it, especially with how many division matchups are left. I think this team has confidence, and I think the big X factor that's coming back is no DK Metcalf for 2 weeks. That impact is going to be massive in a very, very important part of the season. But San Francisco, even though I point out those things, I'm still really, really nervous. I'm still seeing all the teams in the division. Maybe with the Rams, I think they caught a little bit. I think they were slightly exposed yesterday on Monday Night Football. But this is a team that has their big name, their big star receiver coming back. This is a team that has an opportunity still to go after it and change up this division. I think this is a team that is still confident in themselves and a team that's got possibly their best ball ahead of them again when they need it. So I think with the return of DK Metcalf and this team still being in the mix for a not even just a playoff spot, but a divisional spot, I'm not giving up on the Hawks to the playoffs quite yet, G.
Now, let me just push back on that a little bit because, you're a fan of the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos made some choice moves in the offseason right before the season started, getting rid of Justin Simmons. Mm-hmm. And I think that was Peyton and the organization understanding what they had in-house and saying, we don't need this guy actually. The Seahawks are not doing that. They're doing that now halfway through the season and I think it's a bit of a panic move. We'll talk about the Dodson cut.
Let's talk about it.
That guy.
That seems like a panic move to me. Like to me, that seems like a move a team that's giving up does make. But, gee, I'm wondering if there's something more there that you might have some insight in. A leading tackler to be released? That's crazy.
And I just want to share, that guy was on the field for 98% of defensive snaps, and he was our leading tackler. So he was on the field all 9 weeks when he was healthy, representing the Seahawks defense. And I just want to share one more thing before we get into it. Nationally, not in our beloved Seahawks market, but nationally, it really feels like pundits in the betting market has given up on us. I pulled up the NFC West odds. Niners are plus 115. Cardinals plus 130. Rams were plus 350. They've now fallen to plus 800 after the loss.
Let me guess. The Seahawks are plus 1,200.
13.
Plus 1,300.
They're just, in terms of national perspective, they've just given up on this team. Now, maybe they're wrong to do that, but it's scary.
You know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid that I'm the person in a relationship that doesn't realize that they're just being cheated on. You ever had that one friend that's still in that relationship and they just don't get it? I'm afraid that might be me. I'm afraid that I'm going to be staying just like the band on the Titanic. I'm just going to stay with this team until the Titanic sinks or whatever the case might be. But I hope that's not the case. But I got to tell y'all, if you only want to know what I think about the Tyrel Dodson release, how I feel about that, it is the first time this season that I have literally scratched my head about what's going on with this team. This is one of those that I don't understand. I don't understand how two free agent linebackers, hear me out for a second.
I
don't understand how two free agent linebackers come in, sign, right? Both of them starters. One of them started 9 games. One of them leading tackler for the team. After 9 games, before the 10th game, both of them are gone. In the same offseason where Jordan Brooks wasn't signed here, Jordan Brooks took off to Miami. In the same offseason where Bobby Wagner, Hall of Fame Bobby Wagner. So, again, I'm not questioning it. I'm not saying that I know best. I am really telling you guys that right now, I don't understand. I don't understand because is it talent? Is it talent to where you're saying Tyrese Knight will be a better player? Because when we go over this with Brandon Mebane and we go over the tape, we talked a lot about this. Even they admitted this, that a lot of it was alignment. A lot of it was not being in proper spaces. So is it talent? And if it was talent, does that mean that things are going to be much better? Because if they're not much better and you can't blame it on talent, who else can you blame it on? coaching? I don't know. I don't know. I'm scratching my head. I'm a little frustrated because I don't have a clear answer. This is the first time all season where I am stumped. I just don't get it. Was this a panic move? Was this a legitimate move? I don't know.
I had a little bit of an idea, and it was going to be a question I was going to pose to you guys in general. Is you mentioned talent. I was going to think, like, have we, because I've heard me say it, we've said it, I've heard so many people say it, this team has the talent. Are they kind of shifting their mindset away from who has talent to who can fit the scheme, who can actually fill their assignment? Not superhuman strength, not intuition, just can you fit the program we're trying to do here, whether you agree with it or not? We're failing even with all this talent. If we get rid of some talent like Dodson and put somebody in there that at least they think will fit the scheme and the outcome will be better, is that kind of where they're trying to go, or is that a bad idea to go to?
I would love to sit here and just pretend like I know. I look, guys, I'm telling you, since I have been covering and talking about the Seahawks, I'm really stumped. Frank, I'm really stumped.
I don't know if you're totally stumped. I think you have an idea in the sense that you do believe it's Macdonald handpicking these guys, picking guys that fit his scheme, and he's been given free reign to do so throughout this season. And I almost feel like there's been a conversation. This is just hyperbole. We don't know this for fact, but there's a conversation between the front office and Macdonald of, this is your year to tinker. Oh, Dodson, who was never an official starter till the Seahawks gave him a chance. He was a rotation guy for Buffalo. Wasn't cutting as a starter. Because we have not liked the linebacker play. Let's just be honest about that. We can be upset that the leading tackler is gone. We've not liked the linebacker play. I'll be honest. I think Ernest Jones and Tyrese Knight's a really fun combo. I'm excited about that. But I'm a little worried we're scrapping by and throwing draft picks at this. And that's something I want to get to as well, but we can save that for a minute.
Are you kind of going into this as like they're almost kind of like Billy Beaning it like Oakland A's, where they're not going for the high-priced on-paper talent? They're trying to find some guys with some minute but great skills that they need to fill in, especially in their linebacker room. Are they trying to, this guy looks great on paper, he's our leading tackler, but he's making our team look bad, he's not doing what we want him to do, we're going to kind of go for someone less, but he can actually give us more efficiency in certain categories?
Yeah, and it does feel like they're upgrading around the margins instead of, I think, one of the bigger moves we've made was trading a second and other picks for Leo Williams.
Yeah.
McDonald's not doing that. But I did have that written down here of like, we have spent draft picks on this roster. We gave up a next year's 4th for Ernest Jones. We gave up next year's 5th. It was part of the Leo Williams trade. We gained a 6th for losing Tyrel Taylor, but we then spent that on a guy named Travis Gibson who can't see the field. He just can't play. We lost a 2026 6th for Robertson Harris. We lost a 2026 7th for trading away our center. Like, we have lost draft picks on draft picks. Next year, it's like 1, 2, 3, 7. Like, we've spent draft picks on this roster. So this is our team in a sense, and this is the part of the purgatory thing that I've been on for a little bit.
So we've spent and failed up until this point. Is what you're
well, and I
saying.
just think there's a lot of fans that are going to be frustrated with this team and don't see the future and be like, well, we got to bottom out and get the highest pick, but we don't have draft picks to bottom out for outside of our high value ones.
One of the things that I think that I have started to learn in covering and talking about this game and talking about this team is I think that we are all, like, as soon as we think that a free agent is going to fix things, we think that a draft pick is going to fix things, we just need one player, we need this. Collectively, it's a team game, right? Together. Football is a very special sport, right? You can't just have one player like LeBron go out there and score 40. It's not just one player is going to do it. It's units out there. It's offensive line unit, okay? There's your linebacker unit. There's a DB, all that. Everything is connected out there on the field. And I think here's where we're at now. We're at the time, guys, in the season where, like, when I say rent's due, that is really how I feel. And if any of you have had real anxiety centered around paying your rent, that's a real thing. Well, I have real anxiety about what's going on right now. I never thought that we would be in a situation that we're in. What situation are we in? Well, the Seahawks have to win on the road against the Niners. They're in that must-win category. And then when they come back home, a home game against the Cardinals, they must win that. And if they were to lose that would be 5 home games in a row if they were to lose that. And I'm just not ready to talk about the Seahawks in that way. I'm not ready to come in and by the way, does it get harder to talk? Yes. Hell yeah, it gets hard. It gets tough to try to find the shining light. It's tough. It's hard. As much as I love the fact that DK is going to be back, as much as I love the fact that Abe Lucas potentially is going to be back, there's a lot of good things that are happening. But at the same time, I cannot not focus on the obvious. And the obvious is when I get on and look at television and I look at some of the film and I see these other teams and I ask myself, are the Seahawks one of the top teams in this league? And right now, no, they're not. The Green Bay Packers, 6-3, they're the 7th seed.
Yeah.
The 7th seed. So forget the Arizona Cardinals game. This game right here on the road, I'm going to say it right now. I'm sorry. If they don't want to go win this damn game down in Santa Clara, then they're not a playoff team then. This is not a playoff team. I'm not about to do this no more.
So how about
I'm tired of doing this.
How about we do that? So if they beat the Niners and they're 5-5, we'll look at the final 7 weeks and we'll be open. They'll be back in it.
But if they don't want to go win that damn game,
but if they're 4-6, 0-3 in the division, we're gonna call it a wrap, and then we're gonna build towards year 2 of the youngest coach in
6
football.
out of the last 7, by the way, games.
Not to mention, every time we play the Cardinals, nobody can predict how that game's going to come out. That I don't know.
Not
what
even
it is
Kyler.
about the Cardinals. Just in general, it's the one team where you can go into the game. It could be the best team in the NFL versus the worst team in the NFL. You have no idea how that game's going to end because we always end up going crazy.
And we're gonna. Oh, Paul, you want to say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, what I mean, is there any like silver linings that would come out of a loss, or is it does it feel like win out for the Seahawks in general?
Hey, Paul, we ain't got no more time for that. We've been dancing. I've been dancing. I've been doing a lot of talking. I've been holding back. I ain't been keeping it 100. A lot of y'all complaining like, gee, you holding back. Yes, I am holding back on some things. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, if they don't win that damn game down in San Francisco, yes, no, they're not a playoff team. I can't sugarcoat it no more. Right now, the percentages the national expert said that there was a plus 1,300 chance of getting there. I think there's like a 7% chance of them getting there. I'm still open to the opportunity. They still got action in NFC West. But if you're telling me they're going to possibly lose this game, and by the way, the Seahawks have not beaten the Niners since 2021, what the hell? 2021, what we talking about?
They've kept their unit there, and we have rebuilt and moved on, and every piece of our offense is gone.
Now your buddy's giving them all the secrets too.
Yeah. Thanks, KJ.
And just to recap real quick, now that we've lost our linebackers, Tyrel Dodson.
Can you give us good news? Are you about to give us good news?
No. Well, unless you can spin a positive. Let's see.
Let me hear it.
This is the offseason we had in terms of free agency. Tyrel Dodson, Jerome Baker. These guys are gone. Rayshon Jenkins, he's on the IR. Laken Tomlinson, I know he's not the most popular guy. His advanced stats are okay.
Start left guard.
George Fant, he's played 30 snaps. Pharaoh Brown, good guy, he depth player. And then we repaid a re-signed Noah Fant, and he's about one of the 10 highest paid tight ends. He averages 35 yards a game. And then we got the center from Cleveland, and
who they're thinking about moving to guard
because of the high snaps.
Because of the snaps.
But then that means someone else has to play center, and that's a position that takes a lot of training and expertise in. So that was our offseason, and I love our draft. I'm really excited to see a lot of Tyrese Knight. I like the guard we got in the second or third round. I'm really excited about Murphy and seeing him in the second half of the season.
I will say this, though, because you mentioned Rayshon Jenkins being out there. He's on the IR. Hope he gets back at some point.
Me too.
But I'll tell you something that has happened, and I really want to say, I want to just really spotlight this. When you get a chance, go ahead and tweet at Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant has been phenomenal.
It's a good call.
Like Kobe Bryant, bruh, I was watching some of the film with my man Meebang. Kobe, you, sir, my friend, have been balling. You have earned a check. So I don't know if you're going to get paid here in Seattle or get paid somewhere. man, you out there balling. So, matter of fact, you just put me in a good mood, Kobe Bryant.
There we go. There we go. There's a positive
Kobe
spin.
Bryant.
And he's had a tough role. I mean, they're putting him everywhere, inside, outside. They're putting him in the back. I mean, he's had to be everywhere.
He's got a couple picks as a result.
No, yeah, he's been great.
So,
And
Paul, did you like what you see out of JSN with DK coming back? Do you think this offense can build off of that great game that JSN had?
I think that's going to be this. I think JSN might be the secret weapon. I think when you can have the game that he had there filling in, there was no hesitation, I think, for JSN to rise up to that level without DK. You know, honestly speaking, I've kind of had JSN on my radar a little bit more as someone I've picked up in fantasy this year and a little bit under the radar. But now I feel like I'm starting JSN with confidence. I feel like Gino and JSN are on the same page, and I think this could help DK a little bit. If you're a team now facing the Seahawks, a team that likes that passes the ball. We know they pass the ball, and now you have to deal with DK, JSN, and Tyler Lockett, something that other teams have had, that have dealt with earlier in the season before DK was out. But I think that is the game changer. I think that is something that changes the game plan. You feel a lot better going to this game against San Francisco with DK and JSN in the lineup versus you just got to get the ball to JSN. You just got to get the ball to Lockett. I think this wide receiver core is better when they're all together. And if teams are gonna sleep on JSN, they're gonna focus all on DK. I think they're gonna get burned. I think JSN has shown that he is a receiver that can fill. That can kind of be that younger Tyler Lockett, that's someone that can make a big play. And I think he's going to find the end zone a couple more times as well this season as well. I think he's going to be a scoring threat for sure.
He can do that, and then, they can all do that, and also that's going to help with the running game. If you have a good passing threat and you have to have three threats, Lockett, Metcalf, JSN out there, and you're having success in the passing game, you're also going to be able to find more success in the running game if they're going to have to change up the coverage and the scheme to be able to handle double coverages on a couple of our receivers. We need to get the running game going.
The one thing that I pray about, and you're right about the run game, Bones and Frank, the one thing I've been thinking about, I look at the Niners. Is it me? You guys saw the in-game fighting with them. The Niners are the team that they are that close from just falling off a cliff. Like the Niners, like right when I think that they're just done from that Super Bowl hangover, they're right there. But there's something that makes me nervous about CMC just coming back. And I don't even think necessarily he's going to have a big game. I hope he doesn't. But just something about him being there, his presence, gives the Niners a little bit of an edge right there on this Sunday.
They weren't easing him in either. If you watched, CMC was in that game plan fully.
He took full reps.
Yeah, that's classic Shanahan. You know, not a lot of warm up. Speaking of other coaches, though, there was some other news.
Shane Waldron got fired.
Oh, is that right?
Wow.
Man, smoke it.
Seattle legend?
Who would have ever thought about this when you only have 3 points on Sunday?
Well, first of all, hold on, real quick. I don't gloat in nobody being fired.
No,
I don't care what profession you in. You know, you get fired, you get fired. You know, that's rough. That's one. Two, hey, is it all Shane Waldron, though?
No.
Is it all Shane Waldron for the Bears?
Absolutely
I mean,
not.
it is the damn Bears.
It's the Bears.
It's the Bears. Now, granted, you brought in Shane Waldron. Like, there has to be some type of responsibility, guys, when coaching staffs and people bring you in and you can't even get to game 10?
Can't get to game 10. And you get hired on as the offensive coordinator there, knowing before the draft even happens, you're going to have a brand new rookie quarterback in, and you're coming off a failure of your time in Seattle, not doing too much good, and you're going to try to bring that over to a guy who's fresh out of college, no NFL experience, and hope he's going to take you to the next level. That's usually not going to happen.
He was gifted, though, a very, very skilled team offensively. It was, built fraudulently because that team, well, we saw that scheme. Just ask JSN when he was saying goodbye to Waldron. But, that team can't block, and that's an issue. And I think Caleb is a sloppy quarterback at times.
He's
and
under pressure a lot, too.
If you have a sloppy organization with a sloppy quarterback, mistakes are going to happen.
There was a hot take made, Frank, just recently. And I want to see if you guys are okay with this. I'm just asking. I didn't say it. It was a hot take that was said. Someone said, it was on the show, the facility, by the way. They said that Caleb Williams is the worst quarterback drafted in this year's first round.
Really? You haven't even seen much of Penix.
That's a fun argument. That's tough to say.
The Penix does negate that.
I was like,
the Penix does.
you have
negate
to be
that.
able.
But I
you
have
to
hope for
played-
Penix. J.J. McCarthy.
Now,
I don't have faith in
Yeah,
J.J.
exactly.
McCarthy.
Jay McCarthy.
whatsoever.
Look, he's not the worst, but he's for sure not the best.
He's a
Not
great
the best.
college quarterback. I think.
Wait, you guys don't think Caleb Williams is going to turn around and be great?
Caleb
Yeah, I
Williams,
think
I
he's
think,
good.
can.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy, I think he has too much of a lollipop arm. He's not going to be able to get that pass in there as much as they would want it there. Caleb Williams, 100%. I think Caleb Williams is committed to being a great quarterback. He's just not. He's having the rookie year that everyone expects a rookie quarterback to have. And good on him thinking that's not good enough, but you can't fix everything in your rookie
But
season.
then when we're spoiled with C.J. Stroud like that, it always just upends the expectations. This is a classic rookie year for a Chicago Bears
You
rookie
can't
quarterback.
you're not-
Let's see him
no
without
Super Bowl.
Waldron. I just want to share this. Last 3 weeks when the Bears have really fallen off, weeks 8 through 10, Bears were last in EPA. That's expected points added per play. They were 15 points off of the next worst team, which was the 31st ranked Dallas, and that includes Dallas without Dak Prescott and with him. So the Bears were really falling apart there. They made a fast change. Eberflus is obviously making these changes for his job security as well. Caleb's going to be fine, but I think you bring up a great question. Bo Nix has looked great. Drake May looks really interesting, and Jane Daniels is the guy.
I'll end with this topic right here. There's a shift that I see happening in NFL football. And I don't know if you guys see it. You can call me crazy if you want to. We can see now that it's not always about talent. All of the teams, every football team in the league, they all have good players. We are clearly starting to see the differences between good organizations and bad organizations. The ones that continue to make the same dumb mistakes time and time and time again. When it's all said and done this season and going into the next season and beyond, we are clearly going to see what organizations out there that are just doing their due diligence, crossing T's, dotting I's, doing what they're supposed to do. But I got to tell you, if there's one game that has still been hurting my heart, that every single time that I watch this particular team play and lose and see how awful they are, I am reminded of that loss to the New York Giants at Lumen Field that the Seahawks took. I don't know what it is, but when I think about this season, right now, the microcosm of this season, the hardest loss that I think that me as a fan has had to take is that game against the Giants at home. The Giants are trash.
Yeah.
And they came in Lumen Field and beat the Seahawks.
You want to know how bad they are?
How bad?
That was Daniel Jones' last win. He just lost to Carolina, and he will be benched in the bye week. Drew Lock, our beloved Drew Lock, will take over, and that will be Daniel Jones' last win. Was playing in Seattle and playing that way.
Well, can you do me a favor? Can you start looking up some good news? Every time you look at that damn computer, you give us some bad damn news, Frank. Is that bad news Seahawk computer?
I can give you bad good news.
What?
Every time we play the Giants, just like this last time we lost, it hurt. They always hype you up with all those sacks we got against Eli Manning in the biggest, 11 false starts they ended up getting against the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
That biggest game. They played that on replay, all the sacks we got, all the false starts before every time we play the Giants. And then you have to go into the game and watch what we did at Lumen Field, where we're supposed to own you guys from the line of scrimmage. Not supposed to be able to. You guys got to go to silent couch. You got to go nonverbal. They ran all over us.
All right. Let's get to X's and O's, man. If you don't start today, you probably ain't going to start tomorrow. It is 49 days. 49 days until 2025. Did you get everything done that you wanted to in 2024? Are you waiting until 2025 to get those goals together, to go ahead, I want to do this, I want to do that? If you don't do it today, you probably ain't going to do it tomorrow. Quit trying to wait till Monday. Monday can't be the fresh start for everybody. Quit trying to make New Year's resolutions. Get it started right now, today. Not now, but right now. Write it down. Talk about and see about what you're about to do next. Come on now. 49 days to the New Year's. Appreciate you rocking with me. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.